Good evening, welcome to part 2 of our double header here on SimSpeed TV tonight. It's the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series Class C Fixed from Homestead, Miami Speedway. And we have one of our largest participation numbers for this time slot in recent weeks. We've got about 40 odd registered. You've got guys like...
There we go. So, a few names here actually that from back in Sim Racing. There we go. Mitchell McLeod, good friend of SimSpeed Esports Network, SimSpeed TV. Mitch has been around sim racing for a very, very long time, and well, he actually was a pro at one stage. Went to World Champs, I think, some big event. Intel GP in Germany, and then they actually saw how little talent he had, and then they threw him out. But shout out to Mitch McLeod, legend, key person in sim racing in Australia and New Zealand. Brody Kostecki just goes to P number 1, 32.426. Very good driver in real life. Kostecki brothers certainly dominate the V8 racing scene. Dylan Shepherd out there as well. Good to see that name.
Yeah, Brody Kostecki, of course, racing in Super 2 and co-driving in the main game with Anton Di Pasquale this year, if they actually get to the Enduro season. And Angelo Fiorini puts himself into second place. Kostecki's got 900ths over the field at the moment, which is a massive margin. Here, Michael Skurlock running around for Illusion Motorsport. What can he do in his Virtual Motorsport Mentor truck as he comes through number 1 and 2, right up against the fence on the exit, down this back straightaway, and then he'll look to get a good run out of turn 4 here. Sets himself up with a wide entry, turns it down, gets on that power early, and drives through and out of the corner. Got that hooked up pretty nicely through there. What can he do is Skirley crosses the line, puts himself up only 8th place. He'll be disappointed with that, a 32.612. See if the second lap's any better. As he comes back through turn 3 and 4, Skurlock will come out of there and he will come across the line. What's he done? What's he going to do? It's a 4.91. It puts himself up into 3rd. And I feel he's probably still disappointed with that, actually.
Yeah, really close racing. This stuff. We'll see plenty of action. Good number of cars out there.
Let's go through the starting grid then. Here in Miami, Kostecki off of pole position. Angelo Fiorini starts 2nd. Skurlock and Newman off row 2. Cameron Thompson and Manuel Lange 5th and 6th. Jonathan Cross and Andrew LePage starting from 7th and 8th. Randy Cornwell from 9th and Nacho from 10th. Joel Mangle starts 11th, Mitchell McLeod row 6 alongside him. Bjorn Redehassi starts in 13th ahead of Alessandro Martinez Forna and Ran Sejas in 15th. Gabriel Stoa 16th. Dylan Shepherd, Chris Howard, Slavin Prezina and Mike Fallon. Joe Hernandez, Kevin O'Brien, Will Zoftrak and Javier Marino right out the field.
There we go. It's going to be a close race, this oval stuff. You can never pick a winner. Never, never, never. It's great racing, especially these trucks. I like the fixed series. Everyone's got the same setup. All about, luck, skill, setting yourself up for those final couple of laps, looking after that right front tyre.
And if you like this oval racing, don't forget tomorrow at midday Australian Daylight Time, or 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time over in America. Top split of the NASCAR iRacing series, one of our bigger broadcasts actually, here on SimSpeed TV. It's turning into expecting our biggest ever participation tomorrow, with everyone being at home in a self-isolation, and should get some pretty big viewer numbers on the broadcast too. Our broadcast from last week is a well-accessed Daytona, which we thought would be the biggest. It's up around 6K now already, and looking forward to that. So should be a good one. We hear we might get Brody Kostecki back for that race too, which would be good to see, and mix it up with some of the Coca-Cola Series pros. And Kostecki finished second in the NASCAR iRacing Series time slot yesterday, so certainly got the skill and the iRating to do it and to put himself in that top split. Of course, massive strength of field on a Friday night, so got to have some pretty decent iRating. Uh, quickly here, Fonty, who's your pick?
Wow, yeah, you can't really pick this oval stuff. Well, you certainly can't go wrong with Brody Kostecki. Looking at the iRating, looking at his talent in real life, he's off P1, but this is all, all about slipstream and staying out of trouble, really. Pretty big track. We should see some great racing, and yeah, we'll definitely see these front guys take it away, probably get a bit of a gap if they work together. We're seeing Gabriel go up the inside. Sorry.
Oh, it's a crash behind, hard into the fence for Mitchell McLeod. We stay green somehow.
There we go, Mitch McLeod. One too many VB long necks tonight, I think, for Mitch. And he found himself in a bit of trouble. Unfortunate for Mitch.
There's the caution flag.
There we go. It's out.
Jonathan Cross had a separate incident. This is on the back straightaway with the number 9 of Randy Cornwell. Just got loose on the top, did Cross, came down into Cornwell, who took a wild tumble in that machine. But let's first take a look at our motor simulation replay of the incident in the first corner. This is Mitchell McLeod. Someone got a very good jump just a few rows behind him. So he's on the outside on that number 11 truck, making his way into the corner. There's Cross and Cornwell in front of him. Up on the high side, what's he done? He's lost it all by himself, goes around, gets collected, hard up into the fence. Got another unlucky victim with him. They stayed green. That was Chris Howard that got collected. And then take a look at this as they come out of turn at number 3 and 4. That's Cross up on the high side in the orange machine. It's Cornwell down on the bottom. And you'll see he just loses the rear, comes down, and then Cornwell goes through a wild ride.
There we go. Yeah, unfortunate there for Jonathan Cross. He probably would have made it round. The car next to him just wiggled a bit in the front. And no more track incident there. So one lap, we're under yellows. Kostecki leads the race. I think we should potentially see some green flag runs once the safety car comes in.
No one's going to dive down a pit lane. It's only been a lap on these tyres. Generally on an oval, if we go 3 or 4 laps, you might see people come down into pit lane. And the importance that fresh tyres have. But after a lap, not going to be necessary. Of course, they don't need to put any fuel in the cars either, so it's all going to be down to their tyres and their tyre wear and getting it home as quickly as you can. Fiorani lost out second spot. Skoak was able to get by him off that restart. See if they, after the switched positions, whether Fiorani can get it back off this restart.
Yep, there we go. So interesting to see these front guys can pull a gap. Who comes onto pit road first? I'm sure we will see another safety car at some point. There we go, lights are out. Racing. At the end of this lap, we'll see the safety car come in. He's going to get the jump. Kostecki ready.
Still got a half lap to do here. Steady on. And now look back at the Scarelock at that creepy face with the clear visor. So you run in nighttime here.
Must be sore eyes because you never see him blink.
Yeah. Laser focus app there, and there's Nacho back there, and Alessandro Martinez Fauna as we come through then to get ourselves back underway. Pit entrance is a bit unique here at Homestead, Miami. There's two ways you can come down. Depending on the layout that's forced by iRacing, you can either come down before turn 3, you can come down off turn 4. As we get ourselves back underway, and a pad start for Skerlock. Look at the run up on the high side for Brad Newman, trying to drive around at the top lane here, trying to take it away, but he's not got the grip up there. As Fiorini will get back by him as well. But in fact, Fiorini's going to get back to the inside of Skerlock, down this back straight away.
Here we go, so clean first corner. A bit of a gap there for Kostecki. Looks like the track struggling with temperature. These guys looking like cars are all pushing towards the wall. Oh, it sounded like a car went around in the background.
No quite issue just yet. Look at Manuel Lanes trying to get to the inside, gets his car to the quarter panel with Brad Newman then. Going to try and side draft him down this straightaway. Still got an overlap into the corner, which is all you need here on an oval. And Newman's not got enough speed up on the high line, so the inside prevails and Lange goes through up into P number 4. And Newman look in his mirror and see a big field of cars lined up behind him, led by Cameron Thompson, and then Nacho, LePage and Reda Hassi. Everyone single file, almost 3 wide here. And there's contact.
There we go.
Down to the inside goes Mike Fallon, down on the grass. And actually saves it, hangs onto it. So we stay green then. And that was contact with, I believe, Gabriel Stoa potentially, that got him down there.
Here we go, lucky to stay green there. Lap number 8 of 40. Really Kostecki doing a fantastic job. Out in front. Oh, these guys get so close to the wall on exit. This racing is pretty difficult. A lot of luck. You need to qualify well. Nice side-by-side battles that we're seeing throughout the field here.
Tell you what, Kostecki's not getting much of a margin at all. Skerlock and Fiorini are hanging with him very nicely. And you see the line they're taking around the circuit, not going all the way down to the white line at the bottom of the racetrack. That's because the banking here in Miami is progressive. So the higher up the track you are, the more banking there is, which should, in theory, provide the higher lines a better ability to carry speed through the corners, but certainly early on runs, as low as you can get before it really drops away down there against that white line is often fastest. There's about a lane where it's quite flat, and you'll see the drivers running just above that lane through the corners here as Fiorini goes to look up the inside. Skerlock lets him go there. Doesn't want to battle him and let Kostecki get away.
Yeah, these guys can work together here to hang on the back of Kostecki. Very fast driver. Done plenty of oval stuff. By the looks of his iRating, had 6,100 iRating and oval was pretty hard pass to get.
Well, didn't Brody... There's about a dozen Kostecki brothers at this point, but was it Brody that went over to the US to try and launch his career and actually did quite well over there in USA? I think Jay might be able to help me out on this one behind the scenes, and was doing some stock car racing, I believe, was Brody in the US at the start of his career before he came back to Australia, and it was him. So, was it Brody? It was one of them.
One of the 35.
It was either Brody, Kurt, or Who's the other one? Jake. It's one of them.
Very talented family. Becky's.
There you go. He was racing with the Canon East Series, and he made it a decent way. And that's only a couple ladders below the Truck Series. And Canon East West and the Canon Pro Tour now, of course, the Arkham Menards Series. All of those are very talented fields. So his best finish was 5th place at Dover Speedway. So he knows how to get it done in oval. He's shown that that's iRacing. He's out here having fun right now. And the battle for the lead now actually being contested among the top 4 because Manuel Lane just found pace and he's closing on these guys. Caught up from the back of Skerlock here as these guys come down the back straight for the 13th time today. Only a short 4-lap race here in the Truck Series. The C-Class races are generally pretty short and sharp.
Absolutely no wind out there in the virtual world today, only 2 miles an hour. So that's certainly not playing in anyone's advantage. If there was a big headwind, we would see Kostecki struggling and positions being chopped and changed all over the show. But these front 4 cars have pulled a bit of a gap, working together. Such cool racing. Never had the opportunity to watch NASCAR, and it's certainly on my bucket list to see this racing in real life.
Riding on board with Nacho Ladeur in 7th place. Ahead of Andrew LePage right here behind him. That Chevy Silverado lurking ominously in his rear view, just off the back of his rear bumper. And looking close enough that he might be able to pull off a move in the not too distant future. Out front, Kostecki started to open up a gap now to Angelo Fiorini, who had been up his rear bumper. It's just fallen away now, and Skerlock actually is starting to come back at Fiorini here. So Skerlock is traditionally very, very kind on his tyres. So watch out here if we go green, for Skerlock to come back here with a lot of pace at the end of this race. He's got the magic touch, so to speak, to conserve those tyres well and make them last.
Riding on board here with Freddie Kostecki. Very smooth on the wheel. Throttle application is perfect. Gap is certainly opening up between 1st and 2nd now. You can tell he's driven this track plenty of times before.
Side by side, further back in the field. This is LePage trying to make it work on Nacho. Couldn't quite make it happen through 1 and 2. Gonna have to try again through here. Gonna have to be careful. He's getting to the left rear though of Nacho. You can see him jumping on the throttle a few times to that corner, trying to get a run, but having to lift off to avoid the back of that number 4 car. And just got to be a bit smart about how he goes about this. Maybe set himself up a bit wider on entry and get a better run through the corners. They're side by side, further behind these guys, I believe. This is the 18 up on the high side. Joel Magnol trying to hold on, and Slaven Prasina goes by on the inside. A good move, and should get this one done through 3 and 4. Be able to start up in front of him. But still trying to make it work as LePage. Still not able to get to his inside.
There we go. It's really interesting riding on board with these guys. How different they all get on the throttle. A lot of them are so much smoother than others. Some of them are using the throttle to help turn it, jump on the gas slightly. Riding on board with Cameron Thompson at the moment, he number 6. He's hunting down Brad Newman.
This is a tough track to pass on too, certainly early on in the stints, just to make sure the corners, because the straights are actually straight, unlike so many of them in NASCAR, the main straights are often tri-ovals. The corners are very much shaped like the ends of an oval, and so just that angle makes it difficult to dive up the inside of someone and keep momentum. It makes it difficult to make it work on the outside as well. So you often see things like this in Miami. There's big chains of cars struggling to make it work until the tyres go off, and then you start to gain some sort of mechanical grip advantage to aid you in your move. As we see here, trying to get to the inside, still can't make it work there.
Michael Sherlock hunting down that P number 2. He wants to get it. Kaseki's pulled a point out of the gap as we have a yellow. What's
so this is going to cause that's an incident for Yuan Sijai's further back. Found himself rotated through turn 1 and 2. Thanks to Motor Simulation, we'll take a look at your replay. And let's see. Well, he's on the outside. Dare say there's probably going to be contact here with the 14 car. And there it is. They're coming together, and around goes the number 16. Kevin O'Brien just got into his left rear, deposited him sideways, and now we're going to see everyone dive down on the pit road for some fresh rubber. They'll reset themselves, stack back up, and they'll go green again for about 14 or so laps to the end.
There we go. Just seen the Modem Simulation replay. Big thanks to Modem for jumping on board with us as our replay sponsor. Halfway through the race, 22 laps in, second yellow out. We will see everyone come down on pit road, as Ryan said. Get a fresh set of boots on, go again. Interesting battles there. Kostecki out to a 0.8 of a second lead just before that yellow came out, so certainly on a charge today. So smooth running on board with him. You just listen to the throttle, just his application of the throttle on the exit of the turn is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's why he's so fast.
Something I noticed too, I mean, obviously with everything that's happening in America at the moment, NASCAR running E-Series now, soon being broadcast on Fox Sports 1. There was a clip of Denny Hamlin running around on the track, and you could see his telemetry on the bottom left of this brake and throttle applications going through the corner, and it was you could tell it was a pro driver because of just how smooth it was. It was one slow transition off throttle and one slow gradual transition back to full throttle. Nailed it perfectly, maximum speed through the corner. And it's guys like that that do well. They're nice on their tires. They're smooth. They don't use their stuff up. And look, that's why they're running around in the Cup Series in real life, I guess. Guys like Kostecki too. That's why he's in Super 2 and a co-driver for Supercars. He's nice and smooth, and this is why he's running well and out well as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's hardware comes a lot into play. Certainly when I was doing sim racing, I'd like to have a big long throw on the throttle so you can really choose your position of the throttle easily. And it'd be interesting to know what sort of pedals Kostecki is running, because it's pretty faultless when he's getting on the throttle. I was running on board with him there for 3 or 4 laps, and it was exactly the same point in every corner. He was off the throttle and then back on it again in the same point. And really looking after those tyres. So we've seen the stop now. We've seen Sherlock move up. And
did you say Sherlock?
Yeah, my bad.
So this will be an interesting restart here to see if they can stick with Kostecki, because on the short run last time, Kostecki was under pressure. Meanwhile, Alejandro Forna took 2 tyres. Surprisingly, wasn't able to leapfrog into the lead with that strategy call. You'd normally expect them to if you take 2 versus 4, but nonetheless sits 4th, which is still pretty decent. And see what he can do, whether he's going to fall back or whether he's made a masterstroke of a call here, as pace car will come across and should be lights out. I can't see. Turn the camera. There we go. Lights out on the pace car. And so we get the 1 to go, and we'll get ourselves back underway in a moment's time. Where's that 1 to go? Where's the 1 to go overlay gone, Jay? Disappointing.
So who's going to get the jump off the start here, you think, Ryan?
Yeah, you're going to be Kostecki. It always is. The pole sitter, it's just impossible to go with them very nicely, it seems. But when we get back around, on our second lap of green, and they'll start to close back up again. That's when it's going to get dicey, as long as Skerlock and Fiorini don't start fighting behind Kostecki off the screen. This is going to be a very interesting restart. 15 laps to go as we get ourselves back underway under the lights of Homestead Miami Speedway here in the Class C Fixed NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series here on iRacing on Sim Speed TV.
This is going to be really important for Skerlock to get a good jump here. This will determine a lot of this race. If he can get a jump here. Oh, there we go. Good start there. Back from P number 5. Brad Newman absolutely blinded it there. And he moves into P number 2.
And they're crashing in the background. A couple of cars stationary. We're still green, remarkably. Fiorini drops behind Skerlock. LePage toes back to pit lane. Kostecki's got a handy margin. Fiorini's got some sort of issue. He's dropping all the way back now, even behind Manuel Lame. So he's slow in that machine. And Skerlock is right up on the back of Brad Newman too.
Yeah, Brad Newman, I was riding on board for that restart. He nailed that perfectly. He had a big gap in front of him. He just jumped on the throttle at the right time. And
oh, Nacho turns Radahasi through 1 and 2, but Radahasi holds onto it, slid all the way up the racetrack, gathers it up, but loses a ton of time.
There we go, interesting racing in the closing stages. 27 laps, 13 to go. Seeing the lead by Kostecki, 0.8 of a second, back to Brad Newman. Michael Sherlock in 3rd place there, right on the back of Newman as he's looking up the inside. Oh, nearly touched his bumper.
And Skerlock's going to want to find a way by. I don't think Newman's got the pace to get to Kostecki here. Skerlock might do, but he's got a Brad Newman in front of him blocking his charge, and with just about 10 laps to go at a moment's time, going to run out of time soon as Manuel Lane's starting to close up to the back of him as well. So too Angelo Fiorini's regathered the pace in his machine after that lackluster start from him. Skerlock and Fiorini just did not go off that restart, did they? And Kostecki was able to get a very handy lead, and Newman capitalised, went by both of them, and it was what we were saying we didn't want to see happen, because it was going to allow Kostecki to jump out in front as Skerlock thought about a move. Newman didn't really throw a block, just held his line, and Skerlock wasn't able to make it happen. He's driving all the way to the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to find some extra grip or some clean air, but struggling to make an overtake happen here.
Yeah, Skerlock was very unfortunate on the start there. A lot of luck played in Brad Newman's hand. It was probably about 4 or 5 car lengths in front of him. He hung back and then just nailed the gas, and it was the perfect time. He had to actually get off the throttle to not go past that car before the start-finish line, but certainly capitalised on that, and now sitting in P2. Looks like he's struggling a little bit, seeing Kostecki pull away at a great rate of knots. 0.2 of a second faster that last lap by.
And these 4 closing up a lot more now. Newman exited shallow from the corner. Skerlock dived to his inside. Contact! Newman gets turned. Skerlock into the inside fence as well. Slides back up on the racetrack, collected by 2 more.
There we go, and
the rest of the field piles in as well. The 18 gets involved. Nacho, one of the first drivers to get in that one. All the 10 car just unfortunately got a bit. Kevin O'Brien just missed it, but, well, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's what happens. You know, Brad Newman, he was struggling a little bit. He had a good start, as we just spoke about, but kind of holding up the field a little bit. And when those guys behind are trying to get past, and you try, you start to make desperate moves, or, you know, put your nose somewhere, which is a bit risky. And yeah, we've seen a big pile up because of that. So yellows now, cars that are still in one piece will continue around, and we'll probably have 5-lap sprint to the end.
I feel like I should probably tell you something too here, Fonty.
What's that, mate?
They had a green light checker.
The what?
They added green light checkers to iRacing.
Oh, did they? There we go. See, it shows how far away I am from the pace, mate. I would have been out the back door.
But we won't quite need it just yet as we stay green off this next restart. Fiorini stays out then. The rest of the field comes down pit road led by Brody Kostecki. In fact, Mike Fallon stays out as well. And so too, nope, just him.
That's an interesting call, but it could work in his favour. If he can get a good jump off the start, then, yeah, Kostecki's sitting back in P number 3, so he's got cars in front of him now. Is it the right call he has made, though? We will wait and see. Oh. Who's your pick, Ryan?
Steggy.
There we go. The director just questioning why Mike Fallon stayed out after he was collected. Maybe the damage isn't that bad. He could still have a good chance. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where he was sitting previous to that as he comes into the pit lane. There we go. So 1 and 2. This will be an interesting start. Kostecki's nailed it the last 2 restarts. Can he do it a third time?
Still got another lap under the lights here, which means we'll have 4 to go when we restart. It's currently just gone 8 in sim time, track temp 27, so it's nice and cool out there for these drivers. Don't forget, this is the prelude to the NASCAR iRacing series tomorrow. Should be one of our bigger events of the season for that series. One of our bigger events of the year for SimSpeed, potentially, with the way viewer numbers have been trending in the last week or so, ever since everything got cancelled. I think esports might be the only business profiting from all this at the moment, Fonzie.
Yeah, well, it's the only sport that's around. Anything individual that's indoors on a computer is the only thing we're going to be seeing, which is very unfortunate that we're all in this position.
8 years of locking Jay away in a shed has finally paid off. With the announcement today that Australian Racing Group are going to be holding their own E-Series in the coming weeks, and Jay Kennedy will be involved in the production of that. Commentary team still to be confirmed, but expected to be. We don't know who it's going to be.
I certainly won't be getting the call up, mate.
That was a solid backtrack right there. But that's still to be confirmed.
No, it should be good. Well,
yeah.
You know, we're lucky that we do have sim racing and these professional drivers out there in the real world. You know, they can keep themselves sharp and look after themselves in their own 4 walls, and you know, do something that is very realistic. iRacing, if you are a first-time person to watch this or are thinking about getting involved in iRacing, don't think again, do it, because it will change your life. It's an amazing sport. We've seen it go from strength to strength. There's always new content being added. In the last 10 years, things have changed dramatically, and awesome racing. Make a whole bunch of friends as well. As we've got the lights out on the safety car. He's going to pull in. Who's going to get the jump? Oh,
very even.
Got it. Yes, he does. Quick gear change there actually made a big advantage for him. So he's going to be on the outside, coming into turn number 1. Oh, he's going to get it. So I can just see in the rear view mirror of Kostecki. Is he going to get the run? Oh, very close to the wall there, side by side. Great battle here.
Can't quite clear him at a turn number 3. Now he does through the corner. Fiorini loses out the lead of the race as I come out of 4. Kostecki sliding that machine.
He's got to clear. He's going to come across
behind
on his
them.
nose now.
Gabriel Stoer as well. Diving to the inside of Manuel Lane to try and retake P3, which he's trying to do. Very close between them. He's going to do that through turns 1 and 2 as Kostecki finally jumps out in front of Fiorini. Leads him by about half a truck length down at this back straight away.
Oh, Kostecki just slightly touched the barrier there as he pitched it into the corner. So we've got new tyres versus slightly older tyres. New tyres being on Kostecki's car. Number 2 car though, the number 8 car in P2 didn't take tyres at the stop. Hasn't affected them too much. We've got 39 laps we've run out of 40. We're going to get the white flag next time by.
Yep, should do. And then the next flag will end it. As long as we don't get a caution before we get to the start-finish line. Still side by side for third. On the inside is Manuel Lane trying to squeeze Stoer up the track, up towards the fence. They'll drag race down into turn 1. We get the white flag. We'll come back to the checkers no matter what, as Kostecki leads by the better part of half a second through 1 and 2. Still door to door for third place here. It's in favour of Manuel Lane by about a bumper. Now it turns back in favour of Gabriel Stoer into turn number 3. For the final time today through turn number 4, Brody Kostecki. What a race for him. He's going to come out of the final corner. He's going to win here under the lights in Miami. Behind him, the race for third is won by Gabriel Stoer.
Fantastic battle to the end there. Really anyone's position. The number 7 car just couldn't quite get on the throttle in time. The other car slightly edge in front, but great race and all. Few cautions there. Fantastic drive there by Kostecki. Absolutely stellar job there on the restart. Saw him clip the wall twice there in those last 2 laps. Managed to come home for the win.
You see the full results on your screen in the end. Only 8 lead lap cars in the end. Kostecki, Fiorini, Stoer, Lane, Hernandez, Forner, that 2-tyre gamble, netting him a 6th place result. Mike Fallon and Kevin O'Brien. Ryan Seges in 9th and Nacho in 10th, both running in issues. The rest of the results will scroll through on your screen. But thank you for jumping in the comms box for this evening, Fonty, and getting your microphone some use once again. Hope to see you back up here in the near future, but plenty of opportunity for that. Plenty of broadcasts to come for SimSpeed TV, both on our YouTube channel on SimSpeed and on the iRacing Esports Network, which is where you'll find us tomorrow for NIS, the NASCAR iRacing Series, and then the Majors Series almost immediately after that. A busy day up here in the comms box. Make sure you like us on social media to stay up to date for all our latest broadcasts. And if you liked the broadcast today, make sure you give us a like on YouTube. But from myself, Ryan Jones, and from Jay Kennedy behind the scenes, and Scott Fontaine alongside me, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going in the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?